willingness to do this.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have all of you with us again for another week. Well, tonight, growing concern from Bahamians living in the United States as the country's president, just days into his second term, moves swiftly to deport illegal immigrants, legal migrants, that is. Now, a local attorney sitting down with our Devontae Hannah, attempting to allay those fears as she notes an uptick in calls on the issue. Take a look at this story.
Tonight, families of Bahamians living in the United States are on edge as United States President Donald Trump rolls out his new strict immigration policies. Attorney Ramona Farquharson says here in the Bahamas, she's reporting that her law firm has seen an uptick in calls of this nature just a week after President Trump's inauguration.
We've had family members call and asking, and that's why I could speak, saying that they have, in fact, it has been an uptick in asking, Ms. Farquharson, I have a daughter or a son over there. What should we do?
Adding to the executive order signed on his first day in office, President Trump also taking a strong stance over the weekend on Colombia's refusal to accept repatriation flights, calling it a threat to U.S. national security. In a shocking move, he ordered to raise tariffs on goods coming from Colombia and even moving to revoke visas of Colombian government officials and imposing a travel ban on supporters of the Colombian government. It prompted the Latin American country's president to respond with increasing tariffs on American goods coming into the country. Now with the dust settled, those deportees are returning to their home country. Attorney Farquharson says, for now, Bahamians need not to worry as they may not suffer the same fate.
President Trump, he said that their main focus at the moment would be on persons who have committed crimes, be it in their home country and or in the United States. And so I think that there's a level of comfort there for the most part.
But given the current climate, those in the United States who may be waiting for official documents or may be in country illegally, she gives this warning.
You may have to make very hard decisions because I wouldn't advise you staying there and waiting until you're picked up and then deported. You may voluntarily decide that, okay, I'm going to leave and then make arrangements and come back.
And if you find yourself in a difficult situation residing in the United States, Farquharson gives this piece of advice. She says, call your attorney, but ensure that you remain honest about your situation. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hannah.
Thanks a lot, Devontae. Now, understand what that means, right? Because we understand from the very beginning that this crackdown on migration in the United States is meant to be targeted to those who are illegal in the United States who have criminal records. That's initially what U.S. President Trump said. But as we've been learning through the media, that's not who's being caught up in this raid. Who's being caught up in this raid are sometimes regular persons waiting to be regularized without criminal records. We heard one person said, I didn't have a traffic ticket yet, they're taking me. And then we even saw some Americans taken into custody because they just simply didn't look American, whatever that means. And so it's targeting pretty much anyone. And so Ramona Farquharson is probably correct there when she said, listen, if you have any reservations, then you may want to do the next best thing. And she didn't say what that was, but I'll interpret it for you. Go home. Come back home to the Bahamas, sort your papers out, and then go back. Because the worst thing Bahamians want to have happen is you get in trouble, they cancel your visa, or they put you in the system, and then you can't go back to Miami to shop. You can't go to Houston to get your special shots. You can't go to Chicago for that special surgery. Whatever it is that you need to do, you need to make sure that your affairs are in order, because at the end of the day, President Trump is looking out for his people and the United States. Just as Bahamians want Prime Minister Davis to look out for Bahamians and the Bahamas, right? We argue all the time that if you're illegal in the Bahamas, you need to come out here and go home. We say it all the time. Well, now, it doesn't feel too good, does it? Because just as we want those here to be regularized and legal who live here and not be here unregulated, so is what the United States is doing now in their hometown. They're trying to clean it up. Well, 1 week after Trump took office as president of the United States, the rest of the world, including the Bahamas, closely watching the impacts of some of the new commander-in-chief policies. Yes, there's been many. He's only been in office a week, but it feels like 6 months, all right? And apart from what we just talked about with the citizenship, one of the other reasons that they're dealing with things is, of course, the executive order ending birthright citizenship. Now, some of you may have read or heard, even though that order is facing legal challenges in at least 24 states, it instructs agencies not to recognize citizenship for children born after February 19th. You got till February 19th of this year. Many now fear it will leave their U.S. statuses in limbo. It will. Well, Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, again addressing this issue, reminding Bahamians that the United States is a sovereign nation with the right to enact laws as it sees fit. Take a look.
This is domestic policy of the United States. It's none of our business, right? You know, so whatever they decide about their rules, they are our rules. We have a set of values ourselves, and remember that citizenship in our own country is not conferred by birth in the place.
Now, there may also be some impact for acquiring U.S. visas. Y'all listen up, because y'all get nervous when they talk about visas. Minister Mitchell says those who take advantage of the American welfare system and abscond on hospital bills in the U.S. may find themselves restricted from receiving visas.
And that prevents the person, my understanding is, I'm advised, from getting a visa if you use the U.S. welfare system to go back to travel to the States. Also, if you don't pay the hospital bill, many people have absconded, not paid the hospital bills in the States, you again will be disqualified from getting a visa to enter the U.S. That is my advice and understanding.
All right, you heard it from the Foreign Affairs Minister. If you don't want to jeopardize your visa, then, you know, that practice or that little emergency trip that you go to the U.S. and then you find yourselves, for some reason, going into labor and having a baby, will not guarantee you citizenship, and can possibly, if you don't pay that bill, if you don't follow the rules, can cause you to not have your visa or get your visa. America is cracking down. Now, I keep saying these serious implications to the Bahamas. There's another big issue that we're going to talk about another day, and that is the fact that we were one of the countries that were asked to accept these migrants. We said no, yay. But will America accept no? We saw what happened when there was some issue with Colombia this week. Colombia said, we don't like how you're doing it. Not in those warplanes, and you're handcuffing our people. We're not going to accept them. And then there was negotiations, and then Colombia sent their jet, and they agreed to accept those people. That tells you that at the end of the day, if America wants what America wants, you will have to give in to it. And that raises the question, will the Bahamas be asked to give in? And if we say no continuously, will they squeeze us? And what are the repercussions of a squeeze from the United States? We don't grow anything here enough to feed us. We import. Could they put taxes on our importations? Could they address pre-clearance, which is one of our benefits of being here in the Bahamas? Can they start cracking down on not issuing visas? These are real questions that we have to ask because they impact our life. America is our biggest trading partner. These are all the issues we're going to discuss. You see, brings me to another point, because I'm done with that part. See, the issues coming out of just the first week of Trump's presidency will impact Bahamians. It is these stories that the national network sought to highlight and provide information for our people. Now, it was the premise why ZNS accepted an invitation to go to Washington. This show aired live last Monday and Tuesday from Washington to discuss these issues. And I must commend our team here at ZNS for an excellent job executing the assignment. Unfortunately, as has been the case on far too many occasions, This visit was made political from even the halls of Parliament. Member of the opposition got up and questioned whether this trip cost $200,000. He didn't end there. He went on to make fun of the assignment, questioning that we would spend this money pretty much to do a Zoom call. It was a slap in the face to the hardworking professionals here at the Broadcasting Corporation. Here are the facts. The trip cost nowhere near $200,000. In fact, the corporation's travel for last year doesn't even amount to $200,000. This trip cost $20,000 for a news reporter and cameraman, the host of The Rundown, that was me, producer, engineer, editor, and director. That's correct. A production team of 3 and 2 other support staff who dealt with logistics and transportation. We paid for it with money brought in by sponsors to the tune of $32,500. Now, if you do your math, that means the corporation made a revenue covering this assignment. I was there because I host this show. This show was invited to broadcast from Washington for 2 nights. Our coverage included interviews from former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development in Trump's first cabinet, Dr. Ben Carson, South Carolina Democratic Senator Kent Williams, media mogul Armstrong Williams, our ambassador to the USA, Wendell Jones, our ambassador to the Organization of American States, Chet Nemore, and Congresswoman Maxine Waters, all of whom respected ZNS's presence and mandate enough to consent to speak with us exclusively. Anything contrary to the fact is simply political mischief or personal agendas. Most of the time, I usually ignore the rhetoric, and I don't answer it. I realize it comes with the territory. But one thing I will not stay silent on is people who choose to discredit the hardworking Bahamians that make up this corporation and the sacrifices and dedication they put forward regularly to take this place to new levels. You do not get to insult them or minimize what they do. I will defend them. Special thanks to our ministry who extended the invitation and made the connections. Our board, led by our chairman, for allowing us to take on this assignment. See, at the end of the day, I recognize that when you are doing something and going somewhere, people will seek to criticize, pull down, and make up lies. I understand that. And that's why in leadership, it becomes oftentimes very lonely. But if you are sworn to lead people to places they've never gone before, there will be opposition. If you are taking and transforming legacy institutions that have struggled to a new place of success, you will be criticized. They will call you out and they will talk about you. But make no mistake about it, ZNS will continue to move forward and fulfill our mandate. I'm done with that. When we come back tonight, we're talking about an institution that is helping our society, particularly social ills and crime, urban renewal. We're going to delve into what they are doing and whether these programs are working. It's a conversation you want to be a part of, and it begins right after the break. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas, the region's leading tourism destination. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16 island destinations.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Over 400,000 Bahamians depend on our tourism-driven economy.
That is why tourism is everyone's business. It's the passing on of our traditions and our cultural heritage to the next generation.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Tourism is everyone's business.
From the straw we plant, to exploring our Bahama blues, to experiencing the greatest show on earth. No matter who you are, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism
is everyone's business.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting TingsyBahamas.com.
Welcome back to The Rundown. A special good night to all of you who are joining us in the online and our platforms, social media, of course, Facebook, in the Lion's Den. And then those of you watching on YouTube, it's good to have all of you with us. Tonight, the spotlight is on urban renewal. It's been hailed as a vital community program to address social and criminal ills in our society. But over the years and various administrations, it's changed, and some believe the impact also changes. Joining me in the first segment tonight is the co-chairs of urban renewal, the Right Honorable Algernon Allen and Reverend Diana Francis. Both of you, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
And of course, I must apologize. I had to do some housekeeping before the break. I had to do that. That was necessary. My apologies.
Well, let me add my support to your position.
Thank you.
It would be so sad if, as you seek to expand the breadth and the impact of the station, that your efforts are demonized and propagandized. That would be a very sad thing, and you must not allow that to happen.
Thank you.
So what you did was right.
Thank you.
Tonight. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thank you. Urban renewal has been a vital part of our society. Those of us who've covered it over the years, we've seen people and we've heard their stories. I'll say it again. We've heard their stories, which is what tells me that there is a degree that it works. But it's been challenged in so many areas. Talk about urban renewal under your leadership. What is the focus? What is the aim? How is it going?
Well, let us begin with the brief history of urban renewal. It has been toyed about, played with by successive governments. And sometimes many people wonder, well, exactly what is it? Well, thanks to the position taken by the Honorable Keith Bell and the authority which he has put in place through legislation in Parliament, we can now say this is urban renewal. We have an urban renewal authority. We have a position which is structured and which will inure to the benefit of generations of Bahamians. And so, on the first note, we congratulate Keith Bell for his efforts. And his efforts, I tell you, Brother Watson, were exceptional in that regard. And to that extent. But what we have done, we have defined it. We have put it in a legal framework and structure. We have populated it. And we are going to see what will be one of the most significant social experiments in the history of our beloved country. The transformation of communities, the transformation of individuals within that community, the little darlings, the precious pearls, part and parcel of a community, and the building of our traditional communities so that they impact positively the growth of community spiritness, the decline of criminal activities, and at the end of the day, a better Bahamas.
Reverend Francis, let's bring you in the conversation because you're no stranger to working with communities, no stranger to working with young people. You're in the community, your church is in the communities. What are you hoping as co-chair to see happen? And what is happening with urban renewal?
As stated by, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here again.
Our pleasure.
As stated by Co-Chair Allen, urban renewal has now become an authority, which means that it cannot be manipulated or changed by a change of government.
Let's say that again, because people don't say, well, yeah, Parliament always changing, putting these acts in place. That is important because too many times, based on administrations, it either gets the emphasis or the focus or it doesn't. This act of making it an authority makes it a permanent institution that cannot be pulled out or tossed aside, but has a specific function.
Correct. So if there's a level of success that it would make, initially, urban renewal had a tremendous degree of success.
Yes.
Large bands, great impact in the community, life change, and when successive governments kick in, you have the squashing of a program.
Right.
And so the authority now gives urban renewal the opportunity to have continuity through successive governments. And so we're looking forward to life change, great impacts, great bands, community-based programming, teaching parenting skills, helping persons, teenagers to help them not to become pregnant, and all of these kind of things, reading programs, to aid food banks in order to alleviate poverty. And so we're looking forward to great things.
That outlast administrations.
Yes.
Why is this important? You're in the community. Why is this important?
There's so many people who are hurting in the community, so many people who are hungry, so many people challenged by poverty on great levels, and we really need all hands on deck. Government and its resources are necessary, and some of these resources are expended, so we need to be able to impact the community, change lives, help people, and to lift the dignity of individuals, to cause their heads to be lifted up, to make people feel like they're somebody, and that's the idea of what we want to do in urban renewal, particularly for those in inner city communities who are so deeply challenged.
Mr. Allen, you served at one point as Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture. You were very deeply involved in transformation for the youth and for the elderly. Are we seeing continuity and continuance with governments in these programs, or are we seeing one program starts, years later it stops, another program starts, years later it stops? So we're not seeing the kind of progress that we possibly could have seen had there been continuity.
Well, the authority represents the end of that process. The authority represents the beginning of a new story, a new entity that will cause the coming together of all of these efforts. The authority, as you're aware, Mother Pratt and I served as co-chairs under the Christie administration. I'm so pleased to be co-chair with the Reverend Diana because she brings that spirituality and that enthusiasm that Mother brought to the process. But what we now have is the recognition by the government, by the people of the Bahamas, that this urban renewal is here to stay, and that is not to be tampered about. It's not to be some political football.
Right.
As governments change and ministers determine that they're going to drop this aspect of it. No, it's here to stay. And so we'll be driving. I'm so excited about it. Forgive me in this regard. We are so excited about this. And this is why we brought a team of people here today to meet with you. Because we know We are onto a good thing. We are into, it is spiritual in so many ways. We are feeling the neighborhoods, the communities respond. We are causing the persons of goodwill, irrespective, and I emphasize this, irrespective of political affiliation, because politics tends to damage everything. Oh no, we say this is bigger than the politics of the moment. This is bigger than the squabble that may occur in communities. This is something which binds us together, Lord. Ties that cannot be broken. The authority, the Urban Renewal Authority, and you'll be hearing so much more of it. Unfortunately, within the short space of time, we can only give you an overview. But you will be hearing our voices sound from, I would say, the mountaintops, so sound from the beaches and the seas, all over the Bahamas. Urban Renewal is here to stay.
That's good news. God. I'll give you the final word in this segment, Reverend Francis, and that is, do you believe, are you seeing the impact already of having established this authority and the programs that are in place? Is it working?
It is working. We're out in the community. As a matter of fact, there are 13 centers here in New Providence.
Wow.
There are several centers in Grand Bahama and filtered straight across the Family Islands. And so Urban Renewal is actually a national entity. The only thing, you know, ZNS covers everything. Urban Renewal is covering it all. We're impacting, we're changing lives, and we're looking forward to even greater success as we continue to develop and grow as the Urban Renewal Authority.
We look forward to it, and we pledge our support to people to give you coverage wherever possible. Go ahead.
Brother Watson, let me end with this, because, as I always say, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we are one. We are one. We are one Bahamas.
There you go. There you go. That's a good note to end on. Still to come, more on the programs being offered by Urban Renewal. A closer look at their impact. You're watching The Rundown here on the ZNS Network. Back after this. Stay close.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a 3-inch TV from Security Depot or a game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2, enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
Welcome back to the show. We're talking about Urban Renewal tonight. It's so good to have various leaders from the Authority of Urban Renewal. So what are the main programs being offered by Urban Renewal, and just how are they working out? Well, my guests in this segment are New Providence Deputy Director Lily Mae Longley and Sporting Director Wilton Russell. Both of you, welcome to the show. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So tell us about the programs. Let's begin with you, Ms. Longley. What are some of the programs that are presently being offered through the Urban Renewal Authority?
There are a number of programs at the center levels. We have the after-school program, where we have trained teachers who come in the afternoon between the hours of 3:30 and 5 p.m., and they go through schoolwork with our children. We have sewing classes.
Wow.
We have sewing classes. We have reading programs. Every week, all of our centers, it's 14 of them, and we should get one coming on soon, go into the schools, and they spend 1 hour in the class 2 days a week.
Wow.
And read to our children. We have Creole classes, where we try to get our seniors, is geared towards our seniors to ensure that, you know, when someone is conversing, that they can understand what they're saying. Additionally, we have programs. There's a big thing that's coming on now, is our youth, the Urban Renewal Youth Club. Every center has a youth organization. Some of our centers have up to 150 students in the youth club. We'll have the band in that club. We'll have the choir. We'll have the dance, which already has about 140 members in the dance. And that just got started 2 weeks ago. So Urban Renewal is doing backyard farming, summer youth camp every year. The Seniors Club is a major thing with over 500 members in the Seniors Club. And then we have the Citizens Advisory Board. The Citizens Advisory Board is made up of members throughout the community, leaders, business persons, pastors, and there's 12 to each center. And they come and they discuss what they can do to improve the business of the center and make it better for the neighbors. Also, we have the Boys Club. Now, that's geared to at-risk boys, where we try to have Dr. Eric Fox go in and deal with them with anger management, how they should stay out of problems. We have the suspension program, where the schools send the children to us if they are suspended from school. So there are a number of programs that are going on at Urban Renewal at this time.
And it doesn't just stop with those programs, there's also sports involved. Talk to us a bit about that.
Listen, our sporting program is doing extremely well. I am excited to even share about what's happening this coming Thursday. We have the extravaganza, the second edition of our extravaganza, where we're catering to over 500 seniors. And what we have been doing over the past several months is getting our seniors, our jewels, in shape. Because, you know, most of the time they're home, they're relaxing, they're taking care of their grandchildren, and they're just home, sometimes just idle. So what Urban decided to do was pull them out of the house. It was only for 1 hour a day. So we have 14 Urban Renewal centers where we have at least 20 to about 30, sometimes in some cases 40 at each center itself on a daily basis exercising. So we have 1 full hour of getting them in shape.
Wow.
So our seniors, this coming Thursday, is going to be at the Second License Gymnasium. From
this week Thursday?
This week Thursday, at 10 o'clock in the morning until 1 p.m. You're going to see a full production where we have them exercising, getting in shape. Our seniors are really strong. I'm telling you, they've been exercising, working out, getting their knees in shape, getting their lifts off the chair. One lady told me one time, because say, Mr. Russell, I used to count to 3 before I come out of the chair. So I used to go 1, 2, and I used to get up.
Wow.
Since she's joined the program now.
She's getting up.
She just gets up. And she's going. So we're excited to see that our seniors throughout all of the different communities where we have the Urban Renewal centers, they are getting in shape and they get stronger. So we are delighted for this particular program itself.
When you have so many programs like this, whether it's sports or whether it's just extracurricular activity, there's no excuse to say, I need help in my community, because you have something that caters to every kind of person.
That's right.
The ones who excel, the ones who are challenged, the ones who are troubled, the ones who need athletic ability. There's something there for everyone.
That's right.
Does it mean that you have to live in this community to be a part of these programs tied to these centers?
Absolutely not. You know, Carmichael, for an example, our Carmichael Urban Renewal Center is the furthest to the southwest. We will take in the entire southwest as far as Kalani.
Wow.
If they want to come.
Right.
So if you don't have an urban renewal in your area, find a center. We are prepared to take in as many children on a daily basis. The adults we do etiquette class. That is so important because we have young ladies today do not know how to dress properly. And so we want to teach them how they can dress properly. The annual speech competition, how to speak. It's not okay to say duh, that. Come on, we want you to say that. And so we will teach you, and you will be a member of the speech competition at the end of the day. So it's a lot of program and it's no excuse. And we tell parents, take the time to get your children involved in these programs that we have going on.
I wanted to ask that. Are people taking advantage of what is available? We hear so many people in the society talk about what's wrong and, oh, we need to train our children better. Oh, people need help. People are, we say it all the time, people are hurting. Are people taking advantage of what is available to them?
Not altogether. And, you know, I was a Parent Teachers Association for a very long time, president. And I realized that you had to go just the extra mile all the time, especially to get parents involved. Parents need to step up to the plate. Once we get those children there, they don't want to leave.
Wow.
So it's important for the parents to know how our programs are working for the children. Particularly, see, Urban Renewal, when it got started, I believe the Honorable Perry Christie, the former Prime Minister, said he wanted to stem the flow of crime in the inner city communities. And the only way we can do that is we address the children, I like to say from 5, because by the time they get 7, they're a little bit too old. They're coming to their own.
Right.
So it's important for the parents to get the children there. Let's get them there. We're going to work with them, and we're going to make them better citizens for tomorrow.
I saw somebody said it online. I thought it was so important. They said, are there any programs or skills for parenting?
That's a wonderful question, because one of our centers have already started parenting classes.
Wow.
And that's at our Fox Hill Urban Renewal Center.
Oh, awesome.
So it's like a pilot program, and we're going to try to adopt it across all the urban renewal centers.
Do you believe, when you look at the challenges you have with young people, I can't wait to ask Mr. Dean that when he comes up next, are we seeing the pattern that when you don't have parental involvement, it makes it that much more difficult for young people to function effectively?
I know that is a fact. That is a fact. A child needs balance in the home. The adage is, it takes a village to raise a child. They need balance in the home. They need balance in the church and any civil organization. They need a balance. And it comes through sports. Mr. Russell didn't talk about the basketball program. I'm sure you'll get to that.
Talk about that.
Yes. And so, you know, we have a lot of things going on, but you need a balance. And I just think our parents, it starts at home. Charity begins at home and spread abroad.
Let's talk about that. What programs do you have for young people?
Listen, I am so glad even that Longley reminded me, of course, about that particular program. Our basketball program during the summer is one of the largest programs that we have on the island. Urban Renewal has 14 centers. What we've done is we have basketball teams at the various community centers. These are teams designed to bring our young men together. As you know, there are issues inside our country with our young men conducting themselves in the right way. This program is designed to bring them together, to teach them about do's and don'ts. That this young man who lives inside Bain and Grantstown and who lives in Nassau Village is not your enemy. So we use the basketball to bring these young men together, to talk to them about conflict resolutions, and to try to be able to resolve our issues, not through fists and fighting and so forth, you know, but on the basketball court itself. Win, lose, or draw, we shake hands, and we leave from there knowing that, hey, we are one, as Mr. Allen says. This is about unity, this is about love, this is about growing, because we want to be like Akai Jones, of course, like Mr. Rick Fox, like Mr. Buddy, we want to get to the NBA to be able to make our lives better as itself.
Do you have success stories from young men?
Oh, we have tons of them, tons of young men. In fact, Mr. Randy, who lives in Angleston, in the heart of the inner city itself, is now in high schools inside the state itself.
Wow.
He just won the MVP last summer inside the program itself. He was playing inside the Angleston Community Basketball Program. And now he's inside our college because Scouts comes down and see these young men play. So this is what we do inside the Urban Renewal Program. It's absolutely free. And then you mentioned it, parents need to take advantage of these opportunities that is provided. Every program that Mr. Longley has just mentioned just now is absolutely free.
Wow.
All the parents need to do is bring their kids, bring their loved ones to the various urban renewal centers, sign them up, register them. We have highly qualified professional society centers that will take care of them, teach them, train them to be very successful.
I'll give you both of you a chance to give your final words about your programs and what you want the public to know.
One of the things that I always say, and I'm so serious about this, the government is offering programs free of charge to help develop your child. We are grateful for our seniors, particularly that comes every week without fail. We trust that the children can pattern after their parents. They see their parents coming to the Urban Renewal Program, the Seniors Club, the exercise program, the bus rides, the time at Fish Fry, the time going out there at Dastra Gardens, and they can emulate or want to do the same thing. My mom, my grandmother is having such a good time. I would want to go too. Right. Because sometimes it's hard to change a child's mind when they are under peer pressure. You know, I'm going to Urban Renewal. Urban Renewal is a great place to start your future. It's a great place to begin your future.
What do you say to that parent who's saying, you know what, my son needs some intervention, I need some help? What do you say to them?
I say sign them up right away. Don't wait. First thing tomorrow morning, find the nearest Urban Renewal Center. We have 14 of them. Go and see one of our fine managers at the center, speak to them. We have all kinds of different programs inside there. They're interested in sports. Sign them up. We have the basketball program, we have the swimming program, we have the tennis, we have track and field, baseball, softball, you name it. Okay? Ms. Longley just laid a whole list of other programs that we do. For the girls, the etiquette programs, you name it. It's all free. Get your kids involved in these programs to be part of a very successful future.
I see two questions online. I probably have to give them to Mr. Dean, because one says, why are these programs not available on the family islands? Says Ring Cooper. You want to answer that?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
They are available on the family islands. We have 8 Urban Renewal Centers in Grand Bahama and 9 across the other family islands.
There you go.
So they are available.
So Desiree, they are available in the family islands. And also I see Jacqueline Pulbo-Duncan is saying, is there a police unit attached to Urban Renewal Authority? Are they... I guess anybody can answer that, yeah.
Yes, we do have a police unit attached, but our managing director, Mr. Dane, will elaborate a little bit more on that.
That's his thing, I know, yes. That's his thing.
So,
but thank you both for being here, and congratulations what you're doing, and hats off. Thank you for the service to our country. We definitely need it. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, stay with us. When we come back, the popular housing program. We're going to talk about that, and then, of course, we'll talk to the man who has to do head of all of this work, the managing director of Urban Renewal. You know that name. Stephen Dean. He's here. We're back after this. Stay close.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'll expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Hello friends, I'm Mario Nuri, inviting you to the next A Familiar Walk as we walk down memory lane with our program over the years. Memories are the key not to the past but to the future, so join us with former Governor Generals Dame Ivy Dumont, Sir Orville Turnquist, Sir Arthur Folkes, former Prime Minister Perry Christie, and former Deputy Prime Minister and now Governor General Dame Cynthia Pratt. Do join us.
Welcome back to The Rundown. We've been talking all night about urban renewal and what its impact should be and the programs that are available to it. Perhaps the signature of the urban renewal program might be the Home Repairs and Housing Initiative. Joining me in this final segment is Home Repairs consultant Arthur Johnson and, of course, the Managing Director of Urban Renewal itself, Stephen Dean. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Good to have both of you.
It's a pleasure to be here, Ken.
It is a pleasure.
Listen, I'm going to start with Mr. Dean. Please forgive me because, urban renewal, you know this like nothing. And I remember when urban renewal first started in its first initial stage with the former Prime Minister Christie. Urban renewal was so successful, the band itself became a phenomenon and traveled throughout the U.S. And I was a young reporter here at ZNS, and I was able to travel with you. You traveled in that big tour bus from city to city, state to state. And what an experience watching these young people audition for scholarships at some of the best music schools and get scholarships. It was just profound to see urban renewal in full effect. And then we saw it dwindle. And I said, oh my goodness, how could something so great we lose it, and now you're at the helm of it. Are you bringing it back? Are you going to bring the glory days back?
It's God's grace and mercy. Back to nostalgia, so to speak.
Yeah,
we're going to rekindle that fire that once burned and urban renewal. Clint, I tell you, to me, this is one of the most ambitious crime prevention and social intervention program ever to grace this Bahama land. There are countries around the world, particularly in the U.S., they wanted to understand what we were doing here. People traveled here from the International Association of Chiefs of Police, came here to see what we were doing. And I see it, remember Ken, I saw it in Jamaica, I saw it a couple of places. They are duplicating this program. We dropped the ball a bit, but I'm going to tell you, it's because of God's grace. I'm back here.
It's the year of grace.
We are back. Mr. Allen is back. We are with Reverend Diana Francis, the dream team. We will get this thing where it needs to go with the help of the Bahamian public. And what is interesting, the public is every day, we are inundated, but people want to help, want to join. That's why we got the advisory committee. We have volunteers throughout the communities. People want to get involved because it's something good. It's something good that's about to happen. And I think with the authority that put the icing on the cake, we were searching what it is that could keep it. And I tell you, we found the antidote that really is going to make sure that we keep it, and the Bahamian people is going to be proud. It's going to be proud for years to come.
That's good to hear. I know some people online asking questions. Is urban renewal on Long Island? Is it in Abaco?
Both places have urban renewal, but what we're going to do, They're going to see some fire burning. They're going to see it being rekindled. They're going to see some things happening. We are on a move. We're putting the strategic teams in place. We are training our managers. We are getting our people ready for battle to go out there and really rescue. Because what we found out, that throughout our community, whether you go through Balls Alley, Dead Cat Alley, Kemp Road, our people are looking for leadership. The young people are looking for leadership.
That's it.
And this is what urban renewal provides. This is what it provides, Clint. And when I came back and I began to look at where some of our children, I began to start searching for them. I went through Quaco Street, saw a lady walking. Then I recognized who she is. I said, where are you going? She said, you remember me, Mr. Dan? When I was 10 years old, I joined the Urban Renewal Band.
Wow.
I'm going to do my intern at PMH.
Wow.
She got a music scholarship as a result of playing in the band.
And she was able to
now she's a doctor.
Study.
So in every sphere of human endeavor, you could lay claim of someone saying they went through urban renewal.
That's powerful.
It's tested, it's tried, and I'm going to tell you, proven. We're going to see more of our young people move forward. This is one of the solutions to get and rescue our young people.
Another person is asking, is there a partnership involvement with churches and urban renewal within each community, for example, forums?
No questions. All our partnership, we have partnership with churches, business leaders, and that's why we have the advisory committees. They comprise of these type of persons. And I'm going to tell you, people are coming in. We got young people by the droves, Clint, by the droves. If you look at our dance class, we just started 2 weeks ago, it's now over close to 200. We got people. But you know one thing we say to the Bahamian people? We say to our big corporate sponsors, bring in the money. If you want to talk about crime, how you can help with crime prevention, sponsor these programs.
That's it.
Sponsor these programs, you will help with crime prevention. Right. You will find a way of life for these persons at risk youth, and this is going to happen. The government is on the verge of giving us some more money, and we want them to give us some more money. We can show we have the teams in place who can get the job done. We have great leadership. Our minister, who was involved in urban renewal, I'm going to tell you, this is very powerful.
And you know, I'm glad you said the government is looking to give you more money. Again, I said it before when the Minister of Health was here. As a wealthy country that's continuously signing heads of agreements and continuously approving investors to spend billions of dollars around our islands, there ought to be a clause put in place.
Yes.
Listen, government, there ought to be a clause put in place that with these heads of agreements, a certain percentage ought to go to community programs like urban renewal to fund it. It shouldn't be on the backs of just taxpayers and the government to find money in the treasury. It should be those who are benefiting from our beautiful country ought to invest in our programs for our people.
Yes, yes.
And they ought to be made to put a percentage aside, and in the heads of agreement it says 1% goes to urban renewal, the urban renewal fund. And that's how you fund that without it being taxpayers' burdens.
And because ZNS is widely watched, I'm sure that everybody's listening.
They need to listen. It's time to act.
And I'm sure
it's time to act.
The money will be rolling in. The funding will be rolling in. The funding will be rolling in. But I must give words, particularly, we have our police officers actually involved, and the police really was at the forefront at the beginning. So they have a good active team involved.
Some of you are mad right now saying they sorry you leave community police and neighborhood policing because you now deal with urban renewal.
In life, we have phases in life, Clint. If you don't go back, you go forward. You know. So I'm moving ahead, and I'm telling you, this is the right. God had this plan like this.
Sure enough.
This is divine, what you see happening here.
I want to get the housing program. Let's talk about it. Talk about what this program is, how it works, and what do you seek to do?
Well, you know, Clint, last year, 24, we had a very challenging year in terms of limited resources. And we wanted to fix so many houses or touch so many lives. We were able, even though we had those challenges, to fix 202 houses.
Wow. 202?
202.
What kind of repairs were there in fixing?
Well, we went from roofing to box and ceiling, inside, windows. We had some challenges with some senior citizens who their bathrooms were in terrible shape.
Wow.
And even some of them, when you walk inside the house, Clint, it's like this light shining. The ceiling is open, the roof open.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's how people were living?
So we had to do something about it.
Wow.
We had to. To that end, Urban, over the next 2 years, we're looking to do some over 1,000 homes.
1,000
repaired.
Now, if you did 200 last year, how you can do 1,000 this year? Over the 2 years.
Over the next 2 years. That between New Providence and the family of islands.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And how do people get to qualify for this program? You know, everybody want to know how you choose Sally House over my house. How do you choose?
No, well, everybody has to put in an application, fill out an application, produce the documents to show proof of ownership.
Right.
And it isn't a... We lean more to senior citizens.
People who can't help themselves.
Who in need,
yeah.
who can't help themselves. Yes. Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Wow,
right.
That's exciting, the fact that people can get this kind of level of assistance.
Yeah. And, sorry,
Go ahead.
and, you know, over the last year, where we've had the strain on our resources in terms of having the manpower, we've made sure that the minister and the co-chairs heard that in a report. And we had one employee start today.
That's one.
Inspector.
That's one.
That's all we need is a start.
Yeah. Mr. Dean, I'm going to give you the last 4 minutes we have here. Urban renewal is back.
Indeed, urban.
You got me excited all of a sudden now.
Urban renewal is back, Clinton. We can need you on board because you can help us promote this.
I am bored. Listen, I am a firm believer anything that we can do to help build our community. See, we've become as a nation so complacent, and all we do is complain about the problem. But we never say, let me be a part of the solution.
Yes. Clint, it is back, but you know, we have some hard-working employees here in New Providence and in Grand Bahama and throughout the Family Island who are behind the scenes. You don't often see them out front, but they are working hard and to make this thing work. I see the dedication, I see the commitment, I see the overtime, I see what they want. And you got to have a heart for this. It takes a special person to be involved in this.
This ain't just no job.
No, this is not a job. No one can pay you for what you have to do in the community.
I know that's right.
When you see lives change, when you walk up, when I walk into the food stand, someone say, Mr. Dean, you remember me? I'm doing well now. I'm doing well now. I'm talking about even everybody we touch, you know. I'm talking about a guy who came out of prison.
Wow.
And he said, Mr. Dean, I need to see you. He said, my life has changed.
Wow.
And said, you said something to me. You touched me while you was in that urban renewal community. Although I gone astray, but I'm doing well now. I'm touching. So we're reaching out to everyone, Clint. We're reaching to everyone. We're not discriminating because everybody needs our help. Immaterial to what I found out, immaterial to where you live, particularly in those over the hill. They have some wonderful people through there. When I walk through Quaco Street, when I walk through, oh my goodness, and the Baintown area, you feel at home. You feel sincerity when you with these people. So Clint, I'm telling you, what you're going to see, like Mr. Allen said, you're going to see urban renewal. All you're going to see is urban renewal. It can come back to those glory days. You know, we used to be every time you click on your TV,
everywhere.
It was urban renewal. Every corner you go through was urban renewal. So we're going to get that band. You know, we had that band for 1,000. We're going to bring that band possibly to 1,500 now. 1,500. So we are asking persons out there, if you have an instrument, donate it to urban renewal.
Yes.
If you have some money that you're making some extra money in your business, bring it to urban renewal.
That's right.
We want the funding. And this will reduce crime. It's rather you help us now as opposed to see one of these young persons come to your company to hold up your company something happens.
That's right.
What we are asking you to do to help us, to support.
Yes.
So we're getting support from the police, we're getting support from community leaders, we're getting support from social service, environmental health. Bring it back to that team that used to gel together. And it's going to happen. I'm going to tell you, lives will be changed. The country will be in a better position. This is a good place. This is a good place to live, the Bahamas. And I'm going to tell you, with this program, you're not going to find no other social intervention program that could rival urban renewal.
I definitely believe you on that. I think you just stirred the pot. People out there are feeling the enthusiasm. That's what we need. We need people to come on board, feel it, understand that you have a role to play in the transformation of our country. And when we, even in the media, I challenge all my colleagues to cover these stories. Don't see these stories as, oh, we ain't got time for the cover of urban renewal. These are important. When we start to put these stories at the forefront of people's mindset. We begin to focus on the good rather than just the bad. We begin to uplift those who are making a difference rather than those who are creating a problem. And I think if we begin to shape our newscast to tell more of these stories, we begin to see the transformation in our country.
But Clint, I want to commend, sometimes you listen to the talk, but nothing happening, and the church ain't doing nothing, this one ain't doing that. But when you canvass these communities, there are some people out there doing some things in their small little corners. They're doing things, they're feeding. And not in the newspaper, not on the news, but they're doing some wonderful. Urban Renewal are connecting all the dots, so we're not duplicating the efforts. So if we find Pastor so-and-so is doing some of the feeding program, Urban Renewal can go in there and double that. We can contribute to that.
There you go.
If the Boys Brigade, we're looking at all these programs, the Scouts and Brownies, we can put the children there. They are structured programs. We're going to put them there. The Sunday school alley in the rally, we're going to put children in there. That's what we're going to do. We are developing communities. We do not come to take over your community. Urban Renewals want to build community leaders because at some point some of us will be removed from these communities. But the community will continue to strive. And that's the goal. So we're working daily in the communities, and we want to thank those people who are doing wonderful jobs in the community, and we're going to be there.
Mr. Johnson, thank you. Of course, Managing Director, they got the right person leading this thing. Stephen Dean, thank you so much. We're going to be talking throughout the year about the programs you're doing and the impact they're having. Thank you so much, and all the best in Urban Renewal. Please get involved. If you need something to volunteer your services, they have a volunteer program going on. Go ahead and volunteer. Become a national volunteer and get involved in making the difference. That does it for the rundown. Be sure to stay tuned to the ZNS Network for the Bahamas tonight at 11. I see Royston Jones already in the building. He ready to prepare for the 11 o'clock news. It is the latest news and information, the last newscast of the day anywhere, right here at Royston Jones. Well, that's it. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
At Fort Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS.
What is the matter? I thought you liked to play like this.
Well, I don't like it anymore.
And why not?
I'll show you why.
Hey, stop my hair. Seriously, you're messing up my hair.